What's up, guys? Welcome to Melody Milestones, where my girlfriend and I are documenting our piano journey and showing you some things along the way. Today, I'm going to start a music theory series. This is lesson 1, which will start at the very beginning. Notes. These are the notes that make up traditional Western music. You have A sharp, B, and then there's no B sharp. It just goes right to C. And then C sharp, D sharp, E, and then there's no E sharp. It goes straight to F sharp, G sharp, and then back to A, and so forth, all the way down the guitar or the piano or whatever instrument. And on the piano, the sharps would be the black keys, while the natural notes are the white keys. And so sharp is up one level, up one interval, or you might hear up half a step. And then these could also be flats as well. So sharp is going up and flat is going down. So for example, C sharp is actually the same as a D flat, and a D sharp is the same as an E flat. For now, you don't need the specifics on when it should be called one over the other. I'm just noting that so you're aware of it. And so they call these steps going up the different intervals. Just A to A sharp is a half step, and then A to B is a whole step. So B to C is a half step, B to C sharp is a whole step. In guitar, you'll sometimes see a 1.5 step bend, and that's when they might pick the guitar at C and then they'll bend the string to raise the note a step and a half. So that would go to D sharp. Unless you're Pink Floyd and then you just do 2.5 step bends and you just bend it pretty much until it goes off the neck of the guitar. And now I want to talk about scales and keys of a song. The major scale follows a specific formula, and it's a formula of these steps. So you have a whole step, and then a half step, and then a whole step, a third whole step, and then another half step. So for example, if we were to start on A, like the A major scale would be A to B, because that's a whole step, B to C sharp, that's another whole step. So the A major scale would start with A, B, C sharp, and then a half step to D, and so on. But the C major scale is so popular because it consists of all the notes going from C all the way back around to C with no sharps or flats. So it's a little easier to understand and read. And so starting on C, you have the whole step to D, another whole step to E, and then a half step to F, and then a whole step to G, another whole step to A, and then one more whole step to B, and then a half step interval back to your octave of C again. And it can just run through that over and over, consisting of C through C with no sharps or flats. And so this is the C major scale, and this is also the notes for the key of C major. And so if a song is in C major, it'll consist of these notes. The chords in the song will also be different combinations of these notes, but we'll get to that all in a future lesson. And yeah, you may see some other notes thrown in there, but not always, and we'll get to that too. So that's music notes and the major scale. And while we're here though, I want to touch on the minor scale. This works the same way, but following a different formula. Although you could think of it as the same formula, just starting at a different spot. The formula to a minor scale is the whole step, half step, whole step, and then a half step, and then 2 whole steps. And so you remember the major scale started with 3 whole steps and then a half. So it's just kind of the same thing, but starting at a different point. And because it's essentially the same formula, just a different starting point, there's an equal minor scale for every major scale. So for every major scale, there's a minor scale consisting of these same notes, and they call that the relative minor. And for C major, the relative minor is A minor. So if you start on A here, you do the whole step to B, you do a half step, takes you to C, you do another whole step taking you to D, another whole step for E, a half step for F, and then a whole step to G, and then a whole step back to the octave of A. So they have the same notes, but they sound different because of the different spacing of intervals, which is very fascinating. And I'm sure you've heard the major scale sounds more happy and the minor scale sounds more sad. And then you can also build chords with these, major and minor chords, the major chords sounding more happy and the minor chords sounding more sad. And then there's also diminished chords, which can really put in some tension before resolving back to the root. And we'll get to all that later. But I'm going to go ahead and stop there for now because I don't want to put too much in the first lesson. I also want these to be as easy to digest as possible. In future videos, we'll go over building major and minor chords with these scales and keys. We'll cover chord progressions, arpeggios, arpeggios with chord progressions, modes, all kinds of stuff. But it's a lot of awesome and fascinating stuff. So stay tuned. If you found this interesting or helpful, or you're looking forward to future lessons, let me know, and feel free to ask any questions too. And thank you very much for watching. I will catch you in the next one.